Welcome to Geek on Film with your host, Robbie Holmes. Hey there, folks. Welcome to episode 22 of season 3 of Geek on Film. I'm Robbie the Geek, everywhere online. Please, little housekeeping at the top of this episode. Please rate and review us wherever you're listening to this. If you're looking for a background channel, maybe on YouTube, there's also Geek on Film over there. All these episodes go there also. It's all really helpful and will be useful to us trying to continue to grow this channel. That being said, there are 3 films we're going to talk about today. Sorry Baby, a new E22 release, Happy Gilmore, the big Netflix release of Adam Sandler's new movie, and the Fantastic Four First Steps. Let's jump into Sorry Baby. This is a movie that was on my radar. I'm a member of the E22 Club, which means I get 1 free ticket a month to every film that opens. It's something you might want to think about. Our friends over at IMDb have the summary of this movie as something bad happened to Agnes, but life goes on for everyone around her, at least. It is written and directed by Eva Victor, and my review over on Letterboxd is, wow, what an amazing debut. Eva Victor creates a truly compelling and vulnerable story populated with characters that allow their actors to transform and disappear into their roles. A film with a serious and terrible act that we watch the repercussions echo and reverberate through the main characters across the chapters of their life. I spent the runtime writing notes, but also jotting down probable areas of award nominations, and there are many. First-time filmmaker, actress, screenplay, probably production design, cinematography, directing, supporting actress. Yep, this is the real deal, a true indie darling, moving and beautiful, devastating and sincere, with a healthy dose of quirky humor. I give it 4.5 stars with a heart. It is currently my second favorite film of the year. I absolutely adored this film. I think it was what I needed. I had seen a bunch of films right before that that felt very flat and lacking life and luster. And this movie, and its quirk and its clever way of showing the impact of a bad act on a person's life and how everything is going on and the world still rolls, and this person is sort of left to deal with the repercussions and slowly evolve, now taking in the new feelings that they have. I love this. This movie really revolves around Eva Victor as Agnes, who's the main character. Her best friend is Naomi Aki, who's playing Lydia. There are other fun people in their group of friends. So you have, most notably, Kelly McCormick playing Natasha, who is sort of Agnes's nemesis in a lot of ways. But it's very one-sided. Natasha is very covetous of how Agnes is seen and doesn't even pick up on the fact that something bad has happened as one of the aspects of the movie. And one of the people that she thinks sees Agnes as this like shining beacon. I really loved it. You should see this movie. The one thing I will call out is there are 2 supporting actors that have small roles that I wish were slightly larger so they could be in contention. I think Lucas Hedges as Gavin, the next door neighbor of Agnes. He plays such a beautiful and touching and compelling man who is excited to be around Agnes and is very sweet. The other is in the middle of Agnes driving. She has a panic attack, pulls into a parking lot, and it turns out it is a sandwich shop owned by Pete, who's played by John Carroll Lynch in one of the most amazing supporting actor runs. If I had any possibility of making this happen, his role and how he plays it really is the thing that maybe brought me to tears the deepest. He has this overwhelming care for her, and it's just a random person that she runs across. It's beautiful. I love the fact that she's having a panic attack. She pulls in and rolls the window down, and he is immediately like, "We're closed. There's nothing here." And then he realizes what's happening, and he's like, "Oh, you're having one of those breathing things. My kid has those." And he immediately goes into like dad mode and taking care of her and talking her down. And then the scene continues. They actually have a few minutes together, and it's so beautiful and so well done. And it sort of encapsulates everything I love about this movie. It's vulnerable, it's sweet, it is surprising, and it's fantastic. If you get a chance, please see it in a theater. Don't let this slip by. I am now a holder of stock in anything Eva Victor would like to do. Going forward, I cannot wait to see what the next thing is. Hearing her in interviews is as much fun as I was hoping it would be. So much of the quirk and the way that she writes and the dialogue is the way that she talks, and I was really charmed by their performance in this movie and their interviews on things like The Big Picture and on Stephen Colbert, and it goes on and on. Eva Victor's amazing. So is the movie. You should see it. Okay. Second up for me this week, Happy Gilmore. Our friends at IMDb have this as revisit Happy Gilmore's golf career after his win in the Tour Championship. It is written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler. And it's directed by Kyle Newacek. For me, I have this down over on Letterboxd as 2.5 stars and just a description of silly fun. I absolutely enjoyed the heck out of this movie, but it is not a movie that I think is great. But that's not what this movie is pretending to be. We jump into a movie where Adam Sandler, I don't want to spoil tons of stuff in this movie. It's fun to have it unfold in front of you. I will say we get a chance to see Adam Sandler years later. He has a family. There's a up and coming golf competitor to the PGA called, I think it's Maxi Golf, and that is led by Frank Manatee, played by Benny Safdie. Benny Safdie seems to love playing a character that's kind of a jerk and playing both high class and low class at the same time. Turns out that John Daly is living in Happy's garage. It's a really fun movie. You get Bad Bunny playing Oscar Mojeas, who is ends up becoming his caddy, and you see that. Ben Stiller's back. Everybody who is in Happy Gilmore's back who is still alive. It is a truly unbelievable. Like somebody rang the bell and everybody arrived. So much fun. If you enjoy Happy Gilmore, you will like this movie. It's almost worth watching Happy Gilmore beforehand so you can be reminded of all the stuff that happens. They definitely give you a quick flashback to a lot of things, but I think I would have even had more fun if I had watched Happy Gilmore beforehand. You should enjoy this movie. If you have 2 hours and you would like to just giggle, if you are close to my age, I just turned 50, and you grew up with Happy Gilmore as one of the films that made you laugh, it should still make you laugh, even if it is not something that is going for awards. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. The other thing I forgot to mention is I saw Sorry Baby over at Potomac Mills. It was a quick film I was able to jump out to in Northern Virginia. Final film of the day that I'm going to talk about is the Fantastic Four Finals First Steps. Our friends at IMDb have this as a summary of forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond. The Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald Silver Surfer. I have this as 3.5 stars with a heart. I said lots of fun and hopeful feelings. I think the casting is truly pretty great of Johnny and Ben. Sue and Reed work because of their chemistry. Overall, they actually feel like a family, and the characterizations of Sue, Ben, and Johnny are pretty spot on in some cases, all the way to perfection. Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards is a bit different than many of the stories I have read, a bit less confidence and assuredness. I really loved Silver Surfer. The effects and powerful grace of the character is captured, and the weight and pathos is played beautifully by Julia Garner. I like this movie. I think the longer it sits with me, the less I feel like I've got it. But I really do think it is a solid performance. In my instant review, I alluded to the fact that I think we might have a Pedro Pascal problem. I think everybody wants Pedro to be in their movie. In this movie, it feels like they wanted Pedro to play a little bit of a bumbling, less confident man of the 60s than I think would have been beneficial. I think we didn't get enough to see how much Reed Richards is one of the smartest people in this universe. We see him solving problems, but it's not conveying over the gravity and the experience of knowing that Reed has everything in his head. I think they allude to it, but they don't capture it really well. The writers of this movie are Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan. I think there's probably a few more. My guess would be Jack Kirby and Stan Lee are who the characters are based on. So yeah, screenplay, Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan, Ian Springer, and then story by Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan, Ian Springler, and Kate Wood. Yeah, it's a lot going on here, a lot of history, and it feels a lot like script by committee, editing by committee, and I think that's the problem we run across. Pedro Pascal plays Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby plays Sue Storm, Eben Moss Bacharach is playing Ben Grimm, and Joseph Quinn is playing Johnny Storm. I think across the board, I think Pedro could have been the guy. I think the way they wrote this Reed Richards just doesn't feel right, doesn't resonate with me as a longtime comic book fan, and doesn't feel right. I think Vanessa Kirby steals this entire movie. I think that she has a unbelievable screen presence. We've all seen it and gotten to know it over the years. She's not just a beautiful actress. She is a person who has so much charm, charisma, and really just presence. I think every scene she's in that she's the focal point of, it is better for the movie's sake. She's fantastic in this movie, and I think is the one who should walk away from this with the biggest bump. I think Ben Grimm, played by Eben Moss Bacharach, is charming. I think he's really good in the little bit he's given to do. I think that's the biggest problem I see here of you hire Eben Moss Bacharach and you don't give him really more than sort of side character lines. There's no real scenes that revolve around him except for his like wanting to impress the kids, a little bit of longing for a character that isn't the character from the comics, which is also a surprise. You have Joseph Quinn playing Johnny Storm. At first, I wasn't sure about the casting, but I think they really kind of nailed Johnny. I think the thing we often forget with Johnny Storm is he is an astronaut. He is a smart person, and they often play him as the bumbling idiot brother of Sue. And they play that in this movie, but they also play this amazing ability for Johnny to figure out something that nobody else is and is not getting a chance to, no one is paying attention to. And I think it's really crazy how good he is and how well that depiction is. Ralph Ineson is cast as Galactus. I think it's fine casting. I think he's got a great voice. I think putting his face on Galactus is really cool. I think the scenes with Galactus are really impressive. I don't love how it feels when he comes to the planet, but that's a comic problem. That is not a Ralph Ineson problem. It is sort of a scale problem I think we run into when Galactus is eating worlds and you see him walking on a planet. Sure, he's large, but it creates a little cognitive bias. It confuses me and has never really resonated well with me. Julia Garner playing Shia Ball as the Silver Surfer is fantastic. I think the scenes where we get a little history of her are not long enough or not detailed enough for us to care. But I think the level of pathos that she's putting into this character and how much she is questioning even her own choice is really well done. The love interest that I was talking about with Ben Grimm is being played by Natasha Lyonne. She's great in this as Rachel Rosman, but not really sure where they're pulling that character from. It's not the traditional love interest of this character. The last person I want to shout out who may be stealing this entire movie is Paul Walterhauser. That guy is playing Mole Man, Harvey Elder. He is great. Every scene with him feels like it's directly out of a comic book. He's the right tone for this movie. The scenes where he is with the Fantastic Four are exactly right. He is needling Reed. He is flirting with Sue. He is pissing off Johnny and Ben. He is great. Those scenes are electric. I wish we had a entire movie that did not tackle Galactus. I wish we saw it didn't even have to be the origin, but the beginnings of the Fantastic Four, like almost like a year one situation where we saw them starting to help and solve problems for people, getting to know the depth of their powers. I think we would have gotten to see a lot more of Reed and understanding why and what his powers are. The stretchiness is fine, but his superpower has always been his brain. It really does not matter that he now can stretch. It just makes him more malleable. Haha. Look what I did there. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to go into the actual end of game here. I got to see this movie at the Air and Space Museum here in Chantilly on a actual IMAX. It was fantastically overwhelming. The screen was humongous. It was definitely not 70 millimeter, but it looked so good. It was great. It was everybody should get to see these types of movies on those types of screens. Get a chance, go to your local IMAX, real IMAX, not Limax, and see a movie like this. It It really helped add the scope and scale to the scenes with Galactus and Shalabal. The bigger problem was that things that didn't look great on a smaller screen looked weirder and bigger. So like CGI baby looks a little weird. The Fantastic Four in their spacesuits inside of Galactus's lair don't look great. They look a little bit like cartoon characters. And it's really more obvious at that scale. But everything else, I think, worked so well on this screen. I think production design on this movie is fantastic. I think that, that is probably the biggest positive for this movie. I think it's got a shot at being nominated for production design. Every little detail is there. There's so much thought and care that went into this world. And I really think we should pay attention to that going forward. I think it's its only Oscar nomination possibility. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. You should see this movie if you get a chance. You should see all three of these movies. No stinkers here. Happy's not going to win any awards, but it's great. Sorry Baby is fantastic. Probably going to be nominated for a bunch of awards. Definitely should be nominated for and win the Golden Brick so far on the Film Spotting podcast. I look forward to seeing where that movie goes for the rest of the year. I'm going to keep talking about it. You should be watching it. So I'm going to leave you all there. Go see movies. Care about movies. Go see movies that matter. I will talk to you soon. See ya. This has been a Geek on Film podcast. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.